The wind howled across the wide, empty plains as the last rays of the dying sun bled into the horizon, painting the sky in streaks of crimson and gold. And the old rancher named Thomas Hale guided his chestnut horse slowly along the dirt trail, his mind heavy with the kind of silence only a man who had buried too much could understand. When suddenly he spotted her, a fragile figure collapsed by the barbed wire fence, barefoot, wrapped only in a tattered white cloth that clung to her body as though it were her last shield against the cruel world. His heart, already scarred by decades of loss, missed a beat because there was something haunting about the way she sat trembling in the dust, clutching the fabric to her chest as if the universe itself was trying to rip it away. And when he slid off his saddle and knelt before her, his rough hands shaking as they hovered just inches from her, she lifted her bruised face, eyes swollen with tears, lips cracked from thirst, and whispered with a voice that carried the weight of every broken soul he had ever met, "Please, don't take the cloth off." For a moment Thomas froze, confusion wrestling with compassion, because he hadn't even reached for the fabric, hadn't even thought of pulling it from her. But the desperate plea in her voice told him this cloth was more than a garment. It was her armor, her last shred of dignity, her barrier between herself and a world that had already stolen too much. And in that moment he understood the trembling terror in her gaze. He whispered back softly, "Easy now, girl. Ain't nobody here to harm you." But even as he said it, the rancher knew some things couldn't be soothed by words alone, so he slowly offered his coat, trying to drape it over her shoulders without disturbing the cloth. Yet she recoiled as if the mere act of covering her might somehow tear it away. And then he saw it. Dark stains seeping through the white sheet. Stains that told of violence, suffering, and secrets no soul should bear alone. His hands trembled harder, not from fear but from the sheer weight of witnessing suffering he couldn't yet explain. And against the backdrop of the fading desert light, the world seemed to hold its breath as Thomas Hale made a choice that would unravel his life as surely as barbed wire tears its skin. He reached gently for the edge of the cloth despite her whispered protests, his old heart pounding as though he were a young man again. And when his calloused fingers brushed the fabric and pulled it back ever so slightly, what he saw beneath made him stagger backward, eyes wide, body trembling, because hidden beneath that stained sheet was not just flesh and wounds but a story written in scars, each line carved into her body a testimony of cruelty and survival, each bruise a chapter of pain, each drop of blood a reminder of what darkness men are capable of. Thomas had seen cattle mutilated by coyotes, men beaten bloody in barroom brawls, soldiers broken on battlefields, but he